In our previous videos, we explored how Trump's chaotic presidency might be part of a larger plan to disrupt Putin's rise. But what if it's not just chaos? What if Putin didn't just back Trump's 2016 campaign, but has been actively involved in shaping the most recent US election to keep the chaos alive? Could Putin's influence in the 2024 election be part of a strategy to ensure that the US remains fractured and distracted, paving the way for a global power shift that could lead to World War III? In 2016, Russian interference in the US election was well documented. Through cyber attacks, disinformation campaigns, and social media manipulation, Russia's goal was clear: to create division within the US and between the US and its allies. But what if the real plan wasn't just about Trump winning? What if Russia's long-term strategy is to keep the West in chaos? To ensure that the US is divided, weak, and distracted, to make it easier for Russia to pursue its global ambitions without facing a unified opponent. Could this be happening again in the 2024 US election? As the 2024 election unfolded, we saw similar patterns emerge. Disinformation, polarization, and media manipulation became the hallmarks of the political landscape. But this time, the stakes were higher. Russia has had years to refine its tactics. What if, once again, Putin used his influence to back Trump, or at least fuel division? The idea isn't just about electing a pro-Russian president, it's about creating instability in the West, ensuring that the US remains a fragmented superpower, too distracted by internal chaos to unite against Russia's growing influence. Is Putin pulling the strings behind the scenes once again? In 2024, the weaponization of information has reached a new level. Social media platforms are now the battlefield for disinformation campaigns. Russia's tactic has always been clear: manipulate information, fuel division, and weaken public trust in democratic institutions. But this time, the target isn't just the election result, it's the public discourse itself. The chaos caused by misinformation keeps people divided, distracted, and unable to focus on the larger global threats. The question is, how deep is Russia's involvement in shaping this chaos? And could this disruption be intentional, not just to help a particular candidate, but to create a much larger global destabilization? What happens when the chaos reaches a tipping point? With a fractured US, NATO in disarray, and alliances crumbling, Russia's quiet rise continues to accelerate. Putin doesn't need to invade to expand his influence. He just needs to keep the West distracted. The more the US is in turmoil, the more room there is for China, Russia, and other global powers to push forward with their geopolitical agendas. Could Trump's chaos, fueled by Putin's subtle influence, be the final piece in a strategy to weaken the West and shift the balance of power toward Russia? The flashpoints of global conflict are already in motion: Ukraine, Taiwan, and the South China Sea. But the true danger lies in the subtle destabilization of the West, created by the constant chaos and division. The more the US is divided, the more Russia and China can manipulate global power dynamics. If the West remains fractured, the risk of World War III becomes more than a possibility, it becomes a real threat. The question remains, was Trump's election in 2016 and Russia's involvement part of a much larger strategy to weaken the West and create chaos? And what happens when the chaos reaches a point where no one can control it? Is World War III already underway, quietly unfolding in the background as we focus on the chaos? Comment below with your thoughts. And remember, the game isn't over yet.